Almost 3 months ago now, I finally sat down after more than 3 years of teaching myself how to use Unreal Engine and decided that it was finally time to create a real game. Not just a jumbled mess of half-baked projects built on top of each other in my little sandbox, but a tried and true game with some real substance and an actual gameplay loop. And I challenged myself to get a proof of concept out by the 3-month mark. It didn't have to be great, but I wanted to finally finish a project and at least get a glorified proof of concept out there. But here's the problem with that. I just don't know when to put down the pen. It's taken me almost a month just to get started on this video alone because of how much I keep wanting to add to and polish more of the game before I actually start showing it to people, so that there was actually something more than just a rough outline of some concepts. And after arguing with myself for weeks about what's actually good enough, I finally told myself to just make the damn video already and put myself out there for what it's worth. So, I'm giving you all the first look at my new project, Echoes of the Archmage. At its core, Echoes of the Archmage is a game centered around exploring a world overtaken by magic and discovering secrets that were hidden away and lost to time ages ago by this elusive Archmage figure. You'll begin your journey as a young mage, newly graduated from the Ordis Academy, who has been sent to research and investigate the obelisk in Terratown. From there, it is up to you to investigate the disturbances in the surrounding areas, defeat powerful enemies and grow stronger, find new spells and gear to upgrade your magic arsenal, and continue to uncover the truth behind the strange runestones and obelisks that have appeared all across the world long ago. The game is going to be something more akin to a 3D fantasy action RPG, with some Souls-like inspiration and roguelike aspects in the heart of its mechanics, and with a semi-stylized or anime-inspired aesthetic to it. When it comes to the magic system itself, the primary mechanic that I want to focus on to make the gameplay feel smooth and powerful is the magic interaction, and making each of the spells kind of combo into each other to better let you apply different strategies in battle, and make the player think about how they can use each of their spells effectively. Combining that with elemental resistances or weaknesses can make it so that the player can either brute force with spells that deal less damage, or play smart to build an array of spells to maximize the enemy weaknesses. The system itself is based around a semi-traditional element system with 6 primary elements. The usual fire, water, earth, and wind, think Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then light and darkness, as they are fundamental parts of life itself. Each of the elements can apply some kind of status effect to enemies, i.e. fire will burn, ice will freeze, water will make enemies wet, lightning stuns, etc. So even though spells like lightning or poison will be in the game, they'll fall under the elemental categories of fire and earth respectively. And on top of the elements applying status effects, I want each effect to have more weight during combat, so instead of just burning enemies, fire-based attacks will apply burn stacks to enemies, which can stack up to 100 and then cause immolation at max stacks to deal extra damage. From there, you could cast a water spell to extinguish enemies, turning their burn stacks into wet stacks, and then follow up with an ice attack to freeze those wet enemies instantly. Alongside the other 6 elements, there will also be a 7th, creation magic. Think of it as kind of blending all of the other elements into something new and more powerful than most other typical magic. This is also my way of adding melee combat into a game centered around magic, so instead of just using a regular sword, you'll be able to use creation magic to summon a weapon that can be used for a limited time. During this time, you'll have a string of normal combo attacks, 1 or more special moves that you can use, and a unique finisher attack that will use up the rest of your weapon's duration before scattering it to the wind. Creation magic also opens up the potential for dual or hybrid element spells in the future. Looking at the playable world now, there will be 4 different hub zone areas, so to say, that are themed around the different elements, and they will be your primary safe spaces. The first of which is Terratown. Does it have a basic name? Yes. Does it convey the message? Also yes. From within these hub zones, the player will be able to save their game, change their spells, explore the surrounding area, shop, trade, and upgrade their gear, play different kinds of minigames, and do various other things before heading to the obelisk located within each zone to select their next quest. Since I am a solo developer, I am not making an open world game, as much as I would like to, but I still want the world to feel large and immersive. So I've decided to go with a more simplistic and semi-roguelike approach in a dungeon system, so to say, where you can choose a main area that you want to play in, the type of disturbance that you'd like to investigate in that area, and then add or remove different modifiers to change up the mission's difficulty while increasing or decreasing the rewards that you'll receive. Most of the maps will have semi-random enemy spawns, while still being tied to a few main objectives that you'll need to complete to eventually make your way to the final bosses that are in each area. And as you explore, basic enemy drops, ingredients that you find, loot that you find in chests, and some of the other rewards that you'll get will be instantly placed into your inventory when you collect them, but the experience that you gain from defeating enemies as well as the final boss, and the mission dungeon reward that you'll get for completing the disturbance itself will be granted to you when you return to the hub zone areas. See, this right here is my problem. I can't stop scaling. When the concept first started, I told myself to stick to something much smaller in scale. Maybe 3 different elements, 10 to 15 different spells, and 3 main levels. We'll go ahead and make it a roguelike and just have you do different runs with different kinds of spells in a set. But that just didn't sit right with me. And over time, my mind kept coming up with new ideas and things that I wanted to add to the world and the lore and the gameplay systems that it continued to grow very rapidly. I don't have a great computer, so making something truly massive is not really an option for me, or my GPU might actually just melt straight through my desk. But I still want to make something that is 3D, feels really good to play, and has the potential for me to continuously add more content to it in the future. So I continued to build on the original idea until I ended up with what I'm showing you today. Every day I continue to think of new ideas and spells, enemies, levels, mechanics, a whole bunch of other things that I want to add to the game, and the more I build it out, the more new ideas pop up, the more sticky notes begin to flood my desk, the more I begin to fall in love with the universe that I'm creating, and unfortunately, the more the scale eventually starts to become extremely massive. And that becomes a real problem for a lot of reasons, but for me, the main problem is feeling content with not knowing if enough is actually enough. Will I ever stop worrying so much about the collisions on the rocks and my foot clipping through? If my foliage really needs to simulate the wind in every level? Or if I should add more apples to that basket because it doesn't look full enough? The answer is, eventually I will. Because at the end of the day, what I care most about is making a game that is actually fun and runs well for people with less powerful computers like myself. I'm not making the next AAA masterpiece. I just want to make a fun game. Now, there are guaranteed to be some people who are going to ask the question, why are you using marketplace assets, or why are you primarily using assets in your game? And those are all completely fair questions, and I have some answers to them. The number one thing is that I am not an artist. Hell, I'm not even a real game developer. I'm just a guy with a computer who decided that he wanted to learn to make video games by himself. So I took to learning how to code with blueprints and Unreal Engine first and foremost, which means I don't even really know basic C++. So when it comes to art, 3D modeling, sound design, etc., if it took me 3 years to just barely feel competent with Unreal, it'll take 10 years for me to just put out a game. So I decided to use really good quality assets from other creators. Number 2, I want to support other creators. I might not be good at all of those things that I just listed, but there are plenty of amazing creators out there who are and choose to make assets as a source of income. And often they have really good prices on high quality products. So I get to spend a little bit of my budget on giving back to those creators, as well as keeping a list to add to my in-game credits so that I can show more acknowledgement to them if the game actually picks up. I am aware that I am sacrificing an aspect of uniqueness in the fact that all of the game assets are not completely similar, and they may also be used in other games. And it also takes some time to find products that work well together. But I've managed to build out a set of assets that I think fit well together and have a good feel to them. So all in all, I'm getting to give back to awesome creators and make the game that I want to at the same time, just at a much quicker pace than if I were to do every single piece of it myself. Eventually, I would like to work with different artists to possibly create some very specific enemies, VFX, or animations that I have in mind, and some that are very hard to find, like anything similar to on Fab. But that will be later on down the line once I have final versions of the game in mind. But as the demo goes now, I want to at least have the first hub zone area and 4 different playable areas available. The first 2 being the Elder Forest and the Grand Desert. These names are still completely temporary. So essentially, you'll be able to play roughly up until level 15 to 20, which will give you a taste of the gameplay, a feel for the different level layouts, and the elemental matchup system in the early game, while still having access to some of the more late game spells for added fun. And what went from a 3-month demo, quote unquote, is looking to turn into about 4 to 5 months, possibly even a bit longer, as I still have a ton of things that I need to work on, optimize, and polish before I even think of community playtesting at all. But even I can't believe how much I've actually gotten done over the last 3 months compared to the last 3 years of learning to use the engine, and I can't wait to continue to grow and learn as I work on completing this checklist for the demo. My problem with scaling, though, even extends to writing the script for the video itself, because I'm just genuinely so excited to start sharing this project with all of you watching, and I want to talk about all the little bits and pieces that I've been working on. But if I did that, then this video would be multiple hours long, and nobody wants to sit through that. So to start things off, I just want to share the beginning of the journey with you guys and to see how it gets received, and from here I can start to structure out some future update videos that go more in depth on those little bits and pieces. So if you saw something you liked or disliked, or if you have any ideas for things that you might like to see in the game, I ask that you please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to support me in the easiest way possible, as well as get updates about the progress on the game, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.